Articulation Radio. Articulation.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another informative and entertaining episode of Articulation Radio. I am your host, the Honorable Joaquin Man. You know how we do things here at Articulation Radio. We will start off the day's episode by taking a glance at the news headlines, and today's news segment is sponsored by bepublished.org.
Here are three of the news headlines and events I saw today, Thursday, July 14th, 2022, when visiting EliteValuesNews.com. Man charged in rape of Ohio 10-year-old who police say later traveled to Indiana for an abortion after Ohio's 6-week ban went into effect. Baltimore police officer arrested for allegedly selling a ghost gun and distributing drugs to members of a motorcycle gang. And Colombia's incoming finance minister wants fair capitalism. Those are three of the headlines and events I saw when visiting EliteValuesNews.com on your behalf. As you know, so much happens in this world of ours, and the staff at Elite Values News makes it a point to keep you abreast of as much as possible. Be sure to check out any of our multiple categories during any hour and actually within any minute. And feel free to refresh under any category for new headlines. EliteValuesNews.com. I am Goddess Sage, reporting live. Looking for the latest news? Visit Elite Values News. EliteValuesNews.com has all the latest news and information. Check out the headlines hourly. EliteValuesNews.com. Visit now.
Do you want to be published? Are you looking for a high-quality, low-cost way to be published with a fast turnaround? Visit bepublished.org to publish today. www.bepublished.org. bepublished.org. Publish today. Books, movies, and music. Listeners, we love you, we hear you, and I am the man who's happy to be here with you today on this another nice episode of Articulation Radio. We have a topic that we're going to cover today, so open up your ears.
ARTistreview.com. All artists need a platform. The Artist Review makes sure you have the one you need to put your work in front of your fans. ARTistreview.com. Artist, REVUE.com.
Yeah. You know what's true? Your conscious eyes tell you. Every step I take, come from among them. Come from among them. Come from among them. Come on, you know the truth. Come from among them. Come from among them. You see it? Come from among them. Families. Come from among them. Come from among them. You come from among them. Those who are outside. Come from among them. Open your eyes. Come from among them. Come from among them. Come from among them. Come from the stuff that we killing. Cause the people got our minds strapped up in the matrix and got our mind against each other. Black people, why we hate us? I don't know. It's hard to deal with this trust. Make me trust me. And if I can't trust me, then I bet you can't trust me. Come from among them. I say, come from among them. Come from among them. I plead. Come from among them. We bleed. Come from among them. I said. Every single day. African people, my African drum. Come from my ancestors, come and talk with you. I came from the soul, I came from the fire.
Among them 19 Psalms, separation common. Thank you for love and Philip Drummond. What is an honor? But crackers, we dunked him. He pulled off the lunches, kicking on wood, we still bumping. He been 100, jump on this. Bad parents gave it with kid country. I know you hear a little thumping. I thought y'all already sung this. On the channel, and we back on it. Feelings of bliss where you list. Oh, the boom, keep hitting. No excuse. Jump ship, people with time to come among us, keep it 100. Don't look back like call for punishment. Turn it on your own, I can't stomach it. Click, shooting your brother with a Uzi long clip. Drive out shooting your sis, it's a hit, man, stop it. Aboriginal indigenous, cuz don't you fuss, no, this is bigger than us. Fight for your families, they must. Back to the place of your birth, rush, oppressor, shut up. Y'all people come from among the dust, that's what's up.
PeopleWarmer.com. Book your travel today. PeopleWarmer.com. Wherever you want to stay. PeopleWarmer.com. Book everything you need. PeopleWarmer.com. Go ahead whenever you please. And if you need advertising, marketing, and promotions, add on an S and head on over to PeopleWarmers.com. That's PeopleWarmers.com.
Have you always wanted to start a business but can't seem to get it off the ground? Call 972-880-8316 for your free initial consultation with a representative from The Conglomerate, or visit theconglomerate.work today to book your consultation in person. Theconglomerate.work, theconglomerate.work, theconglomerate.work. Call 972-880-8316 to start your new business today.
Today's episode of Articulation Radio was kicked off. Well, first, let me tell you people, today's episode is titled Getting Caught Ain't the Problem, because of course Goddess Sage will come on and discuss some of the problems in thinking that professionals say lead a person to criminal behavior and ultimately to jail. So today's episode of Articulation Radio, which is titled Getting Caught Ain't the Problem, was kicked off for you, of course, with some excellent music. We played for you The Things You Do by Wild Sun featuring Frida Winst. And after that, you heard Ethereal Garden by 96, or some people say IXVI. Now, you will be hearing pretty soon Born and Graced by Star Valarin featuring Little June. But of course, as you all know, that feature song for Artist Reviews Artist this week was Come From Among Them by Dr. Raven. And people, let me please encourage you as much as I can to any of your loved ones who is on the path to jail and you don't want them to go there, have them to listen to this episode with you. Feel free to, if you're listening to this right now, pause it, get them if they're near you, or if they're not near you in the same vicinity as you, send them the link to this so that way they can listen to this message here that Goddess Sage is going to be sharing. And I'm gonna go ahead and play that song for you guys, that Born and Graced by Star Valarian featuring Lil June. And then after Sage talks to you a bit about some of the thinking that leads people to criminal behavior and ultimately incarceration, so that way you all can change that thinking and, get on the right path now. After she does her thing, then I'll be back to play some more music for you. Hold tight, my people.
You are listening to Articulation Radio. Head on over to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts.
Would you like a motivational speaker to come to your company or organization to speak to your group? Visit lifespurposeministries.com. That's lifespurposeministries.com.
On a snowy
This is Goddess Sage, and I am here today to talk to you briefly about getting caught ain't the problem. The problem is thinking. And of course, I will share with you some information from professionals who say certain things actually do lead a person to criminal behavior and ultimately to jail. And so we'll discuss just a few of those, just to give you a bit of information on how encouraging your loved ones to go ahead and take part in behavioral therapy prior to any further trouble with the law or any future trouble with the law, to go ahead and curb that behavior that is resulting from whatever trauma or experiences or even just downright bad choices the person is making. Now, I want to share a bit with you about this particular topic, but I want to read some things just a little bit from this article that I found online, and it is written by Jack Bush. And the title of it is To Help a Criminal Go Straight, Help Him Change How He Thinks. But he pretty much in this article talks about how I'm using behavioral therapy since 1973, how he's been able to see change not only in the programs that he has in place, but even with other systems that people put in place at other prisons. And so he even gives some stats. So I'll be sure to kind of, jump around it a bit to kind of share a bit with you. Now, he first starts out by saying that hardcore criminals are trapped in a vicious cycle of their own thinking. Cognitive treatment of offenders can show them a way out of that trap. With effort and practice, even the most serious offenders can learn to change their thinking about other people and themselves. They can learn to be good citizens and feel good about it, but in most cases, the criminal justice system doesn't present them that opportunity, not in a form that offenders recognize as genuine. Since 1973, Bush says he's been working to develop and deliver cognitive treatment to minimum to high-risk offenders in juvenile and adult detention centers, jails, and prisons. The treatment is rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy, which has proven effective in treating a wide range of mental disorders. And he goes on to, cite a few stats from the 1950s and 60s. And he mentions that in correctional treatment, cognitive therapy has evolved to include cognitive skills training, like how to solve problems, how to deal with social situations, and how to control your anger. And as you and I both know, just these three main parts alone will go a long way, not only with the people we know personally who are on the criminal path or people who we may run into in the future. A lot of times it does boil down to them not coming up with a better alternative to solve their problem, or them not coming up with a better way to deal with social situations, or them not coming up with a better way to control their anger. And now to get back to this article a bit, in hopes that, of course, I can squeeze some of these tips in and some of these stats from him real quick. Now, he says that the idea is to change the thinking that lands offenders in trouble, like, I'll never snitch, I'll never back down, I'm going to take what I want, and if anyone disrespects me, I'm going to attack. Forms of cognitive treatment have become the predominant treatment for offenders in the U.S. and Europe. Underlying it is the realization that criminal behavior is a result of criminal ways of thinking, and that for offenders to change their behavior, they must change the way they think. And then he goes in and talks about how in the 90s, different research that had taken place, and, and it was there in Canada. And he said that, of course, eventually, there were, various tax savings, and, how the treatment programs, delivered various professional standards and reduced recidivism. But he says that naturally, he's not saying that cognitive therapy should replace incarceration, let alone, or have it to where people are being let out of prison early just because they've taken treatment. But adding treatment, this cognitive behavioral treatment, adding this to incarceration promotes and provides hope to offenders now and benefits to society in the future. And he goes on to say that incarceration is a basic tool of criminal justice, but when the sole purpose is punishment and confinement, offenders respond in the privacy of their own minds with resentment and defiance. The thinking that led them to offend is not extinguished by punishment, it is reinforced. And so, of course, we have to do more than, just throw people in jail and, and in these harsh environments and even corrupt environments. We have to do more to make sure that the thinking that led them there is not exacerbated by being there. We have to make sure that thinking by the time they leave has been resolved. Any negative thinking, any wrongful thinking, any will to commit crime, that all of those conscious changes have been made. Those conscious decisions have been made for those changes. Now, he says that criminal justice need not be solely punitive. And from here on out, I won't add any extra commentary because I know we have to keep this tight. A criminal justice need not be solely punitive. We can enforce the law without compromise and without triggering offenders' resistance. We can offer genuine opportunities to change. And we can acknowledge offenders' innate freedom to choose the attitudes they live by. My colleagues and I call this strategy supportive authority. It consists of conveying 3 messages at the same time, spoken with one voice. We are determined to enforce the laws, number 1. Number 2, we offer you a genuine opportunity to change and take part in society. And number 3, we respect your capacity to make your own choices. And I was so tempted. I'm not going to say anything. Okay. And of course, naturally, he goes on to say, and I'm going to skip down a bit here for you, providing offenders an opportunity to change their thinking, their lives, and their place in society is in everyone's interest. It does not compromise our enforcement of the law, but it demands changes in our thinking to see criminals as fellow human beings and to provide genuine opportunities for ex-offenders to take part in society. And then, of course, he goes on to say how, time and again, when we see change happens, how various things come into place. And even when people are out of prison, some are able to actually hold jobs. He goes on to mention, some successful situations, one successful situation. And then he gives a situation of a failure where the person, didn't quite maximize their opportunities for positive results with the minimum failure. And so, of course, he goes on to talk about this particular prison that he had visited, Red Onion State Prison in Wise County, Virginia, a supermax facility for the worst of the worst that had come under the Department of Justice scrutiny for excessive use of solitary confinement. This prison is in the process of changing from what had been a culture of control and punishment into a culture of control and hope. Prison offenders and counselors are trained to treat prisoners with respect. They are also trained to support and deliver an array of cognitive treatment programs. Offenders are presented with pathways leading from solitary confinement to lower levels of control and eventually, for most of them, to re-entry and life in the community. Since 2011, there has been a 68% reduction in the number of prisoners at Red Onion confined to solitary, a 78% reduction in incident reports, and a 91% decrease in inmate grievances. And their efforts, of course, were praised in a January report from the Department of Justice. And it says, at Red Onion, cognitive treatment is a key piece of the system, but only a piece. The whole prison is the intervention. And unfortunately, that is the grim reality, because as we know, if a person is not able to change their thinking, is not able to devise ways to control their anger better, whether it's go to an anger management class or, take time to breathe, or even just ask yourself, what is really making me angry about this? Or, whatever it is that a person needs to do. But definitely control your anger. Find ways to deal with social situations better. Everything doesn't have to go your way. People don't have to agree with you. And even if someone calls you a name that you don't like, that doesn't give you the right to physically do something to that person or vandalize their property or, commit a crime. It's not worth it, And also, a person has to find a better way to solve their problems, because sometimes problems can be solved if just one person would make the effort and show a willingness to do so. And then the next person, or the other person, may inevitably or instantly be like, what, I do need to let this go, or yeah, we can work this out, or whatever is the case. But even if you do attempt to solve a problem and a person does not want to solve it, you don't have to remain in that problem. You can leave them there in that misery alone. You don't have to be there. But at any rate, cognitive therapy, whether it is given to you by a professional or you ultimately get it in an institution that happens to have that type of program like Red Oak, or faithfully you won't be going there because you'll be changing your thinking to prevent you from going there. That's the entire point of sharing this information with you, is to let you know that if you really look at the fact that it's always our thinking that motivates our behavior, that motivates our speech. I mean, it all starts there in our brains. And so, of course, you need to have it to where instead of always acting on the negative things, how about you try not acting on every single negative thing and try coming up with other ways to handle things instead of putting your body through all of the stress that comes along with not properly solving your problems or dragging it out or, not handling social situations right, or, not knowing how to deal with them, or not knowing how to even be in a social situation, but not feel forced to socialize if you don't want to, whatever it is. Learning how to control your anger, or not even getting as angry, or not acting the way you act when you do get angry, whatever it is, but definitely find ways to be that best version of you, that version of you that you enjoy. And it's not the angry person who's running around harming people and taking a risk of people harming them. That's not your joy. And if it is your joy, then definitely you keep doing that. And I so wish, hope, pray, and any chance I can get to help make sure that you are immediately incarcerated for long term. If you kill someone, that yes, they go ahead and snuff you out. I look forward to those of you who are committed to criminal thinking and harming other people and loving this lifestyle that you all are caught, put in jail, locked behind bars, enjoy all of that messed up stuff with other people who enjoy and choose to keep going back in and experiencing that. And you do your thing, just join in with all of your other types. But no, you do not need to be out here harming us good people and putting us good people in situations to where we have to harm you. You need to be removed. So either change yourself, remove yourself, or otherwise just be removed in any of the other ways that this change can still be naturally made to come about. So at any rate, that is it for me. Thank you all so much for listening. And I am turning it back over now to Joaquin Mann to play you some more great music.
Do you frequently shop online and you're looking for a new place to shop? Join the club, JeffersonTaylor.club, where models, designers, inventors, and other creators offer customers the best products at fair prices. Jefferson Taylor, JeffersonTaylor.club. Join the club. Shop today, JeffersonTaylor.club.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed.
That was Amazing Grace, the a cappella version by Sven Carlson. Up next for you, my people, is Rifle by Stillness Speak, and that will be followed by What in the World by Wild Son featuring Ed Mills, and African Waltz by our very own Goddess Sage.
If you are a savvy senior who's seeking a lifestyle club that's centered around you, visit sittingroom.xyz today. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz, where savvy seniors socialize, get event invites, organize among themselves, as well as obtain merchandise and get engaged to create new things. The Sitting Room, sittingroom.xyz. Visit today.
Media Room 360 TV. Media Room 360 TV is a channel that has something for everyone, from world news, inspiration, programming for kids, politics, sports, technology, and entertainment. Media Room 360 TV has got you covered. Check out one of our shows today on Roku. Media Room 360 Internet Television on Roku. And if you need a speaker, head over to Media Room 360 Speakers at MediaRoom360.com. That's MediaRoom360.com.
Articulation Radio, thanks you so much for listening. So head on over right now to articulationmedia.club and let us know your thoughts on today's episode. In the meantime, we're going to keep the show rolling for you.
Are you looking for grant writers, technical writers, creative writers, academic writers, any kind of writers? Head to the Writers Consortium. Their website, writersconsortium.us, www.writersconsortium.us, the Writers Consortium, writersconsortium.us, for all of your writing needs. Think of it, they can produce it for you. They are the ghost writers to the top people.
would like more information on how you can be an eyelash artist, call us at 314-560-1641 or 888-585-LASH, LashingOutLoudInc.com.
Seeing it lately.
Weddings are expensive, but your love is worth it. Go to marryusnow.us to book the Minister of Love to officiate your wedding today. The fee is only $200 if your wedding is in the city of Chicago, and there's only a small fee to get the Minister of Love to travel outside of Chicago to your wedding location. Book the Minister of Love today. Visit marryusnow.us. That's marryusnow.us.
Want to buy stocks, jewels, real estate, or other high-end items? Would you love to be able to contribute to charitable initiatives but cannot do these things with the money you currently have? Join Regal City Investment and Social Club, where you can pool money each month with other investors to make major purchases, give to the needy, and possibly turn a profit. www.regalcity.xyz. Become a Regal citizen today by joining Regal City Investment and Social Club. regalcity.xyz.
My people, my fam, my folks, I thank you so much. We all here at Articulation Radio, thank you so much for tuning in today and making us a part of what it is that you do. We encourage you to go over to our website, articulationmedia.club, and let us know not only what you think about today's episode, but make sure that your music, your interview, and your ad all take place right here on this station, Articulation Radio. Go to articulationmedia.club right now and hook yourself up. Make sure that you do that so you can hook other people up. But be sure to tune in again on Articulation Radio. We'll catch you again soon. And in the meantime, you already know, keep being a doer, keep being a move maker, and keep making things happen.
Articulation. 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 Articulation.